All right, hello and welcome to project number 2 of Online Roblox Studio with Youth Tech Inc. So for this project, what we're doing is we're building a car. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the first thing, of course, that we need, as always, is we need to have Roblox Studio open. And as you can see, I have Roblox Studio open here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Baseplate. And it's going to take me to this baseplate template right here. We're going to give it a second to load. Wait for it to pop up, and once it does, we will start getting into the mechanics of building a car in Roblox. So kind of just as a reminder, Roblox is both a scripting and programming interface, but it also uses a lot of physics and emulates a lot of kind of real-world 3D environments, which is partly why you can do things such as building a car in the software, which is really awesome. So we'll just give this another second to load here. And once we do have it open, we'll be going through the process of just kind of creating the foundation of the car to the point where you have wheels and a floor and a driver's seat. But we'll also talk about too how you can customize it and kind of build a body for your car. Maybe you're going to design the next Tesla or the next Lamborghini, who knows. But anyhow, we have our template open now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off just by adding a part to our game, just like we do with everything else that we have. And once you add your part, the first thing you want to make sure of is that up here in the top in your Home tab, make sure you have Join Surfaces selected. If you don't have Join Surfaces selected, your car is not going to quite work once we get to the point where we are ready to test it out. So again, make sure you do have Join Surfaces selected. And so now that we have our brick here, what we're going to do is we're going to transform this using the scale tool to make it a little bit bigger, kind of more towards the shape of how long and how wide, you might assume a car in Roblox is. So we'll go ahead and make this just a smidgen wider. There we go. And so now that we have that, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add a wheel. So to do that, we're going to go to Part, click the drop-down list, and find our cylinder. There's our cylinder. We're going to rotate this that the edge is facing the edge of the rectangle, and we're just going to resize this to be the shape of a wheel. So we'll go ahead and bring this up a little bit. There we are. And what we're going to do is we're just going to place this at the edge of the rectangle. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to click on the rectangle, go to our Move tool, and we're going to go ahead and lift this up just like that, just one stud. And we're going to click on our wheel, and we're going to copy and paste this wheel all along the edges of our rectangle. So there's two on that side. We'll go to the other side here, and we're going to copy and paste it again. And I'm just using my copy and paste shortcut keys on my keyboard, which of course is Control-C and Control-V. So here we go. Here's our fourth and final wheel. So we've got that all figured out. And you can, of course, make your wheels bigger if you want to. Size doesn't really matter, just so long as you've got four of them. And so the next thing that we need to do, which is this is kind of a unique, tricky part, is we need to add hinges to all of our wheels. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this wheel. Then we're going to go over to Properties. And that's on your right hand side. And if you don't see the Properties tab on your right hand side, you can go to the View tab at the top and make sure that both Explorer and Properties are selected. So again, make sure you're not in your Explorer tab, but make sure that you're in your Properties tab. Once you are, again, make sure that that first wheel is selected, and you're going to scroll all the way down until you find a category at the bottom called Surface. And we're going to scroll down some more. And if you click on something such as left surface, it will highlight in yellow what side the left surface is on. So in this case, the left surface is the outer edge of this wheel. Well, here's the thing. We're trying to add hinges on the inside side, the inside surface of the wheel. So we need to have the opposite of the left surface, which would be the right surface. Awesome. So there we go. We know we have the correct surface because, again, it's highlighted in yellow here. And so simply what we're going to do is we're going to click on the drop down arrow here, and we're going to change this from smooth to hinge. And there we go. Now we have a hinge on our surface. And so the next thing that we need to do is we need to click on this wheel, and we need to do the same thing. So right surface, hinge. There we go. All right, so now let's go over to the other side, and things are going to change just a little bit. So we'll click on this wheel right here, and instead of the right surface, because, well, that's now the outer edge. So this side is going to be the left surface, because, again, the position of which side the rectangle has changed, because we're now working on the other set of wheels now. So we're at the left surface, and we're going to go ahead and click on our drop-down menu again, change this to hinge, and then we're going to round out with our last wheel here. Left surface, change this to hinge, and there we go. All right, so now we've got all 4 wheels put together here. So now that we have all of our wheels, well, what's missing? Well, we probably need a driver's seat. So now that we have all of our wheels, we have our rectangle. To add your driver's seat, which this part's very important. It won't work without the seat. You go back to your Explorer tab, and you go all the way to the top of your tab here, and you find Workspace. And interestingly enough, when you select Workspace, you'll get this little plus icon off to the right. So we'll go ahead and click on that, and you'll get this drop-down menu. We're going to go ahead and type in Vehicle, and it's the first result that pops up. It's called Vehicle Seat, so we'll go ahead and add that. And it just dropped into our world here, so we'll go ahead and drag this to be on top of our car. And I'm going to rotate this. And I need to figure out which side's the front side of this seat, so I know which way the car is going to be pointed in. So I'm going to go back to Properties, and I'm going to use that same little trick we taught you just a moment ago. So I find the front surface, and it looks like it's already pointed towards the front. So we'll go ahead and drag that to the top there, and I'm going to bring in the seat a little bit to resize it. There we are. Okay, so now that I've got all these things together, the last step is making sure that all of your blocks are unanchored. Now, by default, they should be, but if for whatever reason they are, once you test out your game, it would not work because your car needs to be unanchored in order to move. So now that we have all of that done, let's go ahead and go to Test and then Play, and we'll go ahead and give this a test and see if it works. And the moment of truth here, we're waiting on our game to load. And it's popping up here. Give it another second. Here we go. Base plate. It's cycling. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop on top here. My character is still loading, but you can see I'm sitting because the speed menu popped up here. Press my WASD keys. Let's see. That doesn't seem to be working. Let's give this another try. Let's sit down again. Nope, not quite. Okay, let's give this another shot here. Okay, so let's make sure again all of our parts are unanchored. There we go. Okay. And do we have hinges? Let's one way we can check this is if we click on our seat and we go to Properties and we scroll down until we find Control. Our hinges detected. Oh no. Alright, so it looks like our hinges are not being detected, which means that there's some issue with our hinges here. So let's kind of zoom in to our seat here. Okay, so it looks like you can see all the yellow hinges. So that should be detected. So let's give this another try. Let's kind of just reattach some of our bricks here. We're trying to move this a little bit. Let's reattach it. There we go. Alright, let's tap on the seat again. Our hinges detected. There we go. 4. Alright, so I guess the simple fix there was we just needed to kind of move our wheels back and then move them back on. And so now it says our hinges are detected. So at this point we should be able to test it and it should work. So we'll go ahead and give this one more try here. So we'll wait for it to load again. And this is all part of the process, a little bit of trial and error, going back to the drawing board sometimes. And once we get a successful drive out of this, then we can start talking about how to spice up the body or the exterior of the car a little bit. So here we go. We're going to sit down, and there we go. Our car is now moving. So if I zoom out even more here, you can see that I'm moving all around the map, and we can turn. And now, another interesting thing that I should mention is that there's a couple different vehicle controls. There's things that control how sharp, your turns are here. There's variables that control your speed and everything. If you want to make your car faster, what you can do is if you select your seat when you're in editing mode, and then you go to your properties tab, you can actually change the speed and such things through the properties tab when you've selected your seat. So that's just another option that's available. So we'll go ahead and hit stop now that we've got our successful car test going here. So now that we have this, well, I mean, this is kind of a boring car, so you probably wouldn't see this type of car driving down the road. So let's talk about some other things that you can do to make this a little bit more exciting. So we can add other bricks and parts to make this a lot more customizable. So we can add another part here. Here we go. We'll make like a bumper or something, and we'll create like a cabin for like the driver to sit in. Maybe this will be like a truck, and we'll have a truck bed. So here we go. And then we'll go ahead and copy and paste this. And then copy and paste it one more time. So maybe this is kind of the starter here, and then we'll raise this up like one stud, and then let's raise it up again. We'll copy and paste this. We'll change this color to blue to be the windshield, and we'll change this to 0.6. There we go. It's a little bit see-through now. And then you could add some doors on the side. You could really customize this and make it your own. Another thing too, just to consider, and you may have seen this before, in the model tab you have rotate 45 and move one stud. So that allows you to, for example, at one stud, if I add another part and we drop this in here, we'll just go ahead and do a real fast example. If I drag this in all directions, this is as small as you can go if you have a one stud block. But if I copy and pasted this and then uncheck this, it would effectually have no limit, which then means that the smallest block that you can make is actually that big, and you can barely see it. It looks like a little speck. So that's kind of your size comparison. So if you want to get detailed on your car, that's one thing you can do. It gets a little bit more tedious when you turn the size constraints off, the grid constraints, just because things do get smaller. But if you're trying to make it look a lot more realistic, that option of course is available to you. So that right there is the car project for online Roblox Studio with Youth Tech. So again, feel free to make changes, make it your own, really spend some time. There's other seats too in the Explorer. If we go to Workspace here, click on the plus, there's ordinary seats too. So there's the vehicle seat, which is for the driver, and then the seat, which is just ordinary. So feel free to try that out if you'd like. And then when you're ready, we can go ahead and move on to challenge number 3, which is our introduction to programming. So we'll go ahead and see you there.